Let's move into main topic number 2. And our second main topic today gets submitted to us by Jackson DePaul, who writes, "Hey up dog, gotta love what we do in the shadows." Well, the "hey up dog, what's up dog? Not much. What's up with you? That joke actually precedes what we do in the shadows, but it's a good one nonetheless. Anyway, always like a what we do in the shadows reference here on the John Campea Show. So following up on that Ray Fisher tweet where he said he wouldn't work on any DC film if Walter Hamada was involved. Yeah, I guess he's out for good then, because I just saw Hamada signed a big contract extension with Warner, and now the word is that Fisher and Cyborg are completely out of the Flash movie too. Last I heard, Fisher was negotiating to appear in the film, and now it looks like that's officially over. What do you think? Was Cyborg never in it, or did Ray lose his job over his tweeting? All right, thanks a lot for writing that in, man. And yeah, listen, the Ray Fisher stuff has been, yeah, it's been a merry-go-round. Really, it has. It's been a circus ride lately, you know, with everything that's been happening. And you know, let me just say what I always say whenever the Ray Fisher issue comes up. I don't know what actually happened, and neither do you. No matter how strongly you may feel one way or the other, the reality is you don't know what happened because you weren't there, and I don't know what happened because I wasn't there. So I don't have like what you would call strong feelings or opinions on the matter one way or the other because I wasn't there. Now, I, like any other fan, can see what is playing out in front of me and, you know, come to my own beliefs about it. But what we believe is different from what we know. So let's just be clear about that. What we believe is very, very different from what we know. And what we believe often changes when we're presented with new facts and new evidence. That's what rational people do. We change what we believe in the light of new evidence and whatever. So the Ray Fisher thing, for those of you who might be unaware, there was the big kerfuffle that came up when he came out and made accusations about Jeff Johns, Joss Whedon, it was John Berg, I think was the other one, and then turned his guns on Walter Hamada. Walter Hamada, who, by the way, was not involved with DC or their president in any capacity when Justice League was actually made. He wasn't a part of that. But for whatever reason, he's turned his guns on Walter Hamada. He recently said publicly that he will never work on any movie that Walter Hamada is involved in. And then, as we just covered, Warner Brothers kind of came out and said, well, that's nice. We've just extended Walter Hamada. Now, there was talks going around that Ray Fisher was going to be involved. There were talks, there was reports about this, that he was going to be involved in the Flash movie. Whether those reports were true, frankly, I don't know. I believed the reports. I believed that Ray Fisher was in talks to appear in the Flash movie. I believe that, but honestly, I don't know if that's actually the case. So we'll just say that. But yeah, now, especially with the Walter Hamada extension, it's pretty clear Ray Fisher will not be there. Now, on top of all that, there's also been some reporting that not only is Ray Fisher out, but there are some rumors going around that right now Warner Brothers is looking to recast the role of Cyborg and recast it and replace Ray Fisher with another actor. However, film journalist veteran Mark Hughes took to Twitter the other day. He's worked with a lot of the big outlets and stuff like that. And Mark Hughes wrote the following: "The rumors of Cyborg recasting are a lie. Cyborg is not in The Flash and the role is not being recast. I've confirmed this with the studio. The rumor is false." So either way, whichever way we want to cut it, and whatever way we want to look at it, it looks like Ray Fisher, whether he ever was going to be in The Flash or not, Ray Fisher's out of The Flash. And he's not going to be there. And of course, this is really no big surprise considering his words and now the actions of Warner Brothers saying that Walter Hamada is there. The question becomes, how big of a distraction will this be to the rest of the DCU, particularly that we still have Snyder Cut miniseries coming to HBO Max. So that's still coming. And this could become quite a distraction to everything there. Now, Rob, one of the things I said on I don't like to address the Ray Fisher situation much because I don't like the TMZ garbage, but when it starts to actually impact the movies that we see or don't see and who will or won't be in there, it becomes an issue. So on one of the open mic, or not open mic, one of the companion videos I did this weekend, somebody wrote in and asked about the Ray Fisher thing. And all I can say about the Ray Fisher thing is this. What I always say is, I wasn't there. If these unspecified and unidentified bad things that Ray Fisher says were done to him, which he's never actually said what they were. He's just said bad things were done, but he's never specified what they were. If those accusations are true, then fuck everybody involved who did those things to him. That's simple. If they were not, if it's not true, then things are playing out the way they should play out. So I simply don't know. I have always said this, and I still say this. It makes me informing what I believe, not know, but believe about the subject. It's always left me very skeptical about the fact that Ray Fisher has been so adamant about coming out and throwing everybody under the bus and never once being specific about what it is he's claiming was done to him. Like, that's the part. And I compared it to this, Rob. Imagine somebody bringing a soapbox out onto the street, standing up on the middle of the street and pointed at a guy named Dan and said, "Hey, everybody, Dan's a jerk. Dan's a big idiot. He's done terrible things to me. Dan's an idiot." And then everybody else on the street is like, "Really? Wow, Dan did that? Well, what did he do to you that makes him such an idiot with these mean things he did?" Well, I'm not going to tell you that, but take my word for it. He's a big idiot. Okay, you want us to believe he's an idiot. All right, but can you tell us why? Nope, just take my word for it. And that's kind of been the situation. And it again leaves me in a position of, why did you bring this fight public? You know, why did you make this a public issue? Like, if you feel the need to make it a public issue because nobody else is hearing you, then when you come public with it, be specific. Tell us, like, you want us to believe that, you know, Berg and Whedon and Hamada now and whatever were just terrible to you. Okay. What did they do that was terrible? Let us decide. And the fact that he's never done that has always kind of felt off to me. But again, that doesn't change the fact that I don't actually know what happened because I wasn't there. Anyway, Rob, a couple of questions here. Number one, do you think that Cyborg and Ray Fisher ever were a part of the Flash thing? Like, I believe they were because I believe the reports, but maybe it wasn't. Do you think he was ever actually a part of it? And with the Walter Hamada extension, do you think it was inevitable that we were now not going to see him? How do you see this?
Well, I mean, there's been so many iterations of the Flash project, all of these things. So I think for sure there probably was multiple scripts that Cyborg was a part of. I know he's a favorite character of mine, and I would like to see Cyborg on screen. I was very disappointed in the limited screen time Cyborg had in Justice League. That said, I think we are living in a dangerous time when we need to get back to preserving the truth and the idea that you're innocent until proven guilty. And I can't help but feel that social media has been turned into what I used to see when we were studying McCarthyism and the Red Scare during the 50s, where all you have to do on social media is say one thing, one hint of, if you throw the hint of impropriety some direction, and if you have any kind of people behind you, they'll go after a person now, regardless of the truth. And I think the truth is something that is really rapidly becoming a casualty of our modern age. And yet our entire civilization is based on the truth of, say, science, and the truth, our legal system is based on the idea of innocent until proven guilty. And when you start accusing people of things, and I don't care who it is, and then not backing up those accusations, that's a very dangerous thing to do. And, you know, what Ray Fisher, there's a lot of things that have happened on movie sets, such as we've had people, there was the independent film that was made where a woman died on the bridge where a train was there because people aren't taking proper safety precautions. And when you're accusing people of doing things in an environment like filmmaking, you really need to back that kind of stuff up. And I as somebody who has produced films myself, if there was impropriety happening on a set that I was working on, I'd want to know immediately, right away, and nip that in the bud as soon as it happened, because that's toxic for everybody working on a film set, not just the person that it's happening to, because the entire crew feels it. So I am an advocate of anyone that is being wronged, but if you're going to accuse people, you need to have evidence. You need to have maybe people to back you up, witness statements. And I don't think maybe bringing this up in a public forum is the best way to do it.
Yeah, that's the part to me about the taking it public thing. Like, I've never sugarcoated this. I believe taking your private fight public is cowardly. Unless there was no other option, nothing, you really truly believe in your convictions about it, and nothing else is happening and nothing is being done, then if you need to, you take it public. But if you do, you got to be some specifics. And this is a bad situation now because it's bad for everybody. It's bad for Warner Brothers. It's bad for Ray Fisher. It's created a bit of a mess. And all I can do now is hope that if Ray Fisher was really wronged here, and I wish he would be specific and tell us how it is he was wrong. But if he was wronged, I really hope his career is able to rebound from this because, he comes from a Broadway background. He clearly has the pedigree to be somebody dynamic, to be somebody really good. If you can carry yourself on a stage, you can carry yourself on a screen. I believe that. Otherwise, it's a tough situation because here's what he faces now. If you're a producer or a studio, would you work with Ray Fisher after this? Because now a lot of studios and producers are going to be asking themselves, what if Ray and I have a disagreement about something? If he doesn't like how it turns out, is he going to start jumping on Twitter and tweeting out to millions of people that I'm an asshole and that we suck and blah, blah, blah? And can I trust that Ray Fisher will keep our conversations behind closed doors? Will all this I don't know. So I hope that if he is right, that his career can rebound from this and somehow, some way, he gets some catharsis from this. If not, I think he's put himself into a very tough position. But honestly, Rob, I don't know. What do you see happens moving forward here now for Ray Fisher? Like a guy with a lot of talent, a guy with a lot of promise. What do you see happens from here on out?
Well, I mean, I hope talent wins out. I liked him as Cyborg. I wanted to see a lot more of him. But, again, this is a business where a lot of it is social. People in Hollywood like to work with people that they can trust to get the job done. And also they can trust to be, easy to work with. Because, when you're on a set 12 hours a day, 5 or 6 days a week, it's a place where, look what happened with Shia LaBeouf, a no assholes allowed policy with Olivia Wilde. And that's true of anybody, not just actors. It's true of anybody on a crew. Any toxicity on a film set is incredibly detrimental to the production of a film. And, going after a studio head was Walter Hamada in a position of power when Justice League was even being made. And I don't know the answer to that, but I think when it comes down to it, you have to generate trust. And the way to do that is to make sure that your coworkers and people that work with you know that you're trustworthy, that you're good at what you do, and that you're easy to work with. And I think ultimately, if that's the case, you will work again. But when you start, attacking the power structure of Hollywood, not necessarily the best way to get more work.
Yeah. Again, all I can really say at this is that, again, bottom line, but it bears repeating hundreds of times. We don't know. We weren't there. And if Ray Fisher was legitimately wronged, I hope that his career finds a way to get back on track after this. And I hope that somehow, some way, he finds what it is he needs and gets it. And if not, then the situation is playing out the way it is. But it's tough, Rob. We pundits, what many pundits do, because what we pundits are often pressured to do, we are often asked, give a hard line stance on this issue, even when there really isn't one to be taken. Like people, like I've gotten email from people who want me to come out and just crush Ray Fisher and blast him for everything he's doing. I've got people writing me saying you should get behind Ray Fisher and support him, but I can't do either. All I can tell you is, listen,
Right.
I wasn't there, so I don't know what the actual truth is. I can tell you what my opinion is based on the little things I've seen, the few things I've seen, and I've given my opinion, but that has to be given with the asterisks and the grain of salt that at the end of the day, I don't know what happened because I wasn't there. But I think, I don't know. Rob, what do you think?
Well, also, I'm waiting to hear what exactly happened. Was this misconduct? Was it hurt feelings? I have no idea what was supposed to have occurred. Like, what did Joss Whedon do exactly? I also respect the fact that Joss Whedon was in an impossible situation, and people could say, well, they probably backed up a Brinks truck to him, but he was still under unbelievable strain and unbelievable pressure. And I don't know what happened. I haven't heard what happened. It's hard for me to even have an opinion on it. I mean, Ray Fisher obviously feels wronged, and I wouldn't take that away from him because he feels wronged for a reason. I just don't understand what is happening here. So it's really, I have no opinion about it because I just don't know the answers. I don't know enough about the whole situation.
Right. So ultimately, guys, question is, what do you think about this? Do you think maybe this is a much ado about nothing. Maybe Cyborg was never actually going to be a part of the Flashpoint movie. The reports say that he was. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. Did you think it was inevitable that he wasn't going to be a part of it after the tweets he put about saying he was never going to work on anything Walter Hamada does? What do you guys think about this? Jump down into the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. All right, guys.